You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, May the 6th, 2020. Starting with this game, the Boston Red Sox routed the Los Angeles Angels by the score of 11-5. The Red Sox got 4 runs in the 4th inning and 5 runs in the 5th inning. Martin Perez got his second win as a Red Sox. Tyler Glasnow got his first loss with the Angels and his first overall loss of the season. And Ryan Weber now has 1 save on the year, though he's not the closer of the Red Sox. Interleague play between the Pirates and the Yankees went to extra innings. The Yankees walked it off on a Gio Urshela solo home run in the 10th. Franklin Perez, now 3-1 on the season. Dovydas Nevarakis, now 3-2. The Baltimore Orioles played the Toronto Blue Jays in this AL East game, and this is a game that also featured extra innings. Game was tied at 3 going into the 12th inning, and then the Blue Jays walked it off. Final score 4-3. Jordan Romano got the win and Michael Rucker got the loss. The Colorado Rockies played the Detroit Tigers. This is another game that went to extra innings, although this one was a bit more intriguing because it featured 12 scoreless innings before the 13th inning when the Tigers walked it off in the bottom half. The Rockies got 9 hits, but failed to score any runs. They also committed 3 errors as a team. The Tigers got 1 run on 6 hits. The Texas Rangers and Cleveland Indians played each other. Corey Kluber made his first start at Progressive Field as a member of a team that wasn't the Indians. The Indians won it in this one after scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Rangers could only score 1 run in the 5th and 1 run in the 9th. Zach Plesac got the win. He's now 3-1. Corey Kluber starting the year off coldly. He's 1-3. And Brad Hand has 16 saves now. That's baseball's best. The Tampa Bay Rays and Chicago White Sox played each other. Yet another game that went to extra innings. The White Sox tied it up in the bottom of the 8th inning. This one went 11 innings before the White Sox were able to walk it off in the 11th. And they again won 3-2. Kelvin Herrera now 2-0 out of the White Sox bullpen. Chaz Rowe is now 2-1 as a member of the Rays bullpen. The Houston Astros beat the Kansas City Royals by a score of 7-3. The Astros came out with early offense, scoring 4 runs in the first 2 innings. Lance McCullers Jr. now 2-2 on the season. Brad Keller yet to win a ball game on the mound, and Roberto Ozuna now with 11 saves as the Astros closer. Interleague play between the San Francisco Giants and the Minnesota Twins saw the Twins win by a score of 2-0. Jake Odorizzi now 5-1 on the season, and Jeff Samardzija is now 1-4. AL West baseball featuring the Oakland Athletics and the Seattle Mariners. Final score of this game was 4-1. The Mariners got the lead, scoring their only run in the 3rd inning, but right in the bottom of the 3rd, the Athletics had a 3-run answer. They won by a final of 4-1. Frankie Montas got the win, Taijuan Walker got the loss, and Liam Hendricks now has 13 saves on the season. Moving to National League Baseball, the Cincinnati Reds beat the New York Mets by a final score of 5-3. Cody Reed got the win. Jeurys Familia got the loss, and Raisel Iglesias now has 6 saves as the Reds closer. This is another game that went into extra innings. 13 innings decided this one. The Reds tacked on 2 in the top of the 13th, and the Mets failed to score in the bottom half, and they lost it. The Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Washington Nationals by a hefty amount. Final score of this game was 9-1. The Diamondbacks scored 3 runs in the 1st inning and put up 3 two-spots throughout this game. The Nats could only score 1 run in the 2nd inning. Madison Bumgarner now 5-1 on the year. Joe Ross is 1-2 with the Nats. The Milwaukee Brewers beat the Miami Marlins in a game that featured heavy amounts of offense on both sides. The Brewers got 3 runs in the 1st inning. The Marlins put up some 3 spots of their own. The Brewers got 8 runs on 14 hits and committed an error. The Marlins 6 runs on 10 hits, committed no errors. Corbin Burns got the win. He's 3-0, though he did not start this game. Sandy Alcantara got the loss. He was the starter for the Marlins. And Josh Hader inching his way up toward the league lead in saves. He has 14. He's 2 shy of Brad Hand's Major League Baseball leading 16 saves. The Atlanta Braves played the Philadelphia Phillies, and this game saw the Phillies run away with it early. Final score was 10-1. The Phillies had a 7-run second inning that really gave them the lead for the majority of this game. The Braves only got 1 run, and that was in the 9th inning. Zach Wheeler got the win, and Sean Newcomb got the loss. The St. Louis Cardinals have swept a Padres team that was previously red hot. This game featured 1 run scored. It was in the 3rd inning, and it was by the Cardinals. Carlos Martinez got the win, Garrett Richards got the loss, and Giovanni Gallegos keeping pace with some of his National League opponents. He has 14 saves on the year. The Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Chicago Cubs again, this one by a score of 6-0. Game 1 of this series was much closer, but games 2 and 3 were blowouts in the Dodgers' favor. And the Dodgers have swept the Cubs in the 3-game series these two played in. And the Dodgers now gaining a lead in the NL West. The Dodgers in first place right now. You'll see that in the standings segment. Clayton Kershaw got the win. He's 2-2. And Kyle Hendricks got the loss. He is now 3-3. Taking a look at standings now, we'll start in the American League East. The New York Yankees on a 5-game winning streak. They beat the Pirates today. They're 24-13 now. They have a 4-game lead for the AL East. The Baltimore Orioles are 20-17. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They had caught the Yankees coming into May, but their losing streak they're on now has caused them to lose ground, and they're 4 games back. The Tampa Bay Rays close to the Orioles. They're 20-18. They're 4.5 games back. The Toronto Blue Jays are 18-19. They're 6 games back of the division, though they're on a 3-game winning streak. And the Red Sox beat the Angels today. They're still in last place, though, with a 15-23 record, 9.5 games back of the division. In the American League Central, the Chicago White Sox are 23-13. They still lead this division. The Minnesota Twins still relatively close. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They're 22-15, 1.5 games back of the division. The Cleveland Indians are 22-17. They're 2.5 games back of the division. The Detroit Tigers are 14-23. They're 9.5 games back of the division. And the Kansas City Royals lost today. They are 10-27. They're 13.5 games back of the AL Central lead. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics are 22-17. They're still at the top of this division. The Houston Astros right behind them, 1 game back with a 20-17 record. The Los Angeles Angels lost today to the Boston Red Sox. They're 16-19 now, 4 games back of the division. The Seattle Mariners are 17-22. They're 5 games back of the division. And the Texas Rangers are 15-21. They're 5.5 games back of the division. Moving on to the National League, starting in the National League East, the Washington Nationals are 23-12. They lead this division. Trailed 4 games by the Miami Marlins, who were 20-17. The Philadelphia Phillies are 19-18. They're 5 games back of the division. The Atlanta Braves are 18-21. They're 7 games back of the division. And the New York Mets, 15-22. They're 9 games back of the NL East. In the National League Central, the Milwaukee Brewers are 21-16. They lead this division still. The St. Louis Cardinals are on a 3-game winning streak now, and they have passed the Cubs by a significant amount now, 2 games. They're 20-18. The Cubs are 3.5 games back of the division now. They're on a 4-game losing streak, and they're 18-20. The Cincinnati Reds have won 2 straight now. They're 5.5 games back in the division with a 15-21 record. And the Pirates, who lost today to the Yankees, got swept in the 2-game set, are 14-22, and they're back into a solid stance in last place, 6.5 games back of the division. In the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are breaking away with the lead now. They just swept the Cubs, and they're 24-12 in first place. The San Diego Padres are 23-14. They're 1.5 games back of the division lead now after getting swept by the Cardinals. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 17-19. They are 7 games back of the division. The San Francisco Giants, who were once in second place in the middle of April, are on a 6-game losing streak now. They've lost 8 of their last 10, and they're 17-20, 7.5 games back, and in 4th place. And the Colorado Rockies haven't had any consistency really this season. They were on a small winning streak ending April, but still at the bottom of this division. They lost today to the Tigers. They're 13-22, 10.5 games back of the division. And looking at league leaders now, we're starting with batting average leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera now leading this category with a .385 batting average, trailed by Carlos Santana, who was in the middle of this list, but now is toward the top. Chris Davis, who led this category previously, now has a 380 average, and that's good for third best. And DJ LeMahieu, who was also toward the top in fourth place with a 371, and Jose Abreu, fifth best with a 365 batting average. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., 367 average, good for best in the National League, though his average continues to plummet. It was 413 about a week and a half ago. David Dahl didn't qualify for this list for a short period of time because he was on the injured list, but he has now met the minimum requirement for at-bats, and he is second best on the list with a 356 average. Jonathan Villar, third best with a 344. Hits leaders in the American League, Jose Abreu, Chris Davis, 57 hits. That's tied for best in the American League. DJ LeMahieu has 56, Miguel Cabrera with 55, and Miguel Andujar with 54. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads this category, 53 hits for him. Ronald Acuna Jr., the only player with more than 50 hits in the National League, he has 51. Paul Goldschmidt right on the brink of 50 with 49. At bat leaders in the American League, Jose Abreu now leads this category. He has 156. In the National League, Ozzie Albies and Jonathan Villar tied for the league best with 154. The next closest person is Bryce Harper, who has 10 less at-bats than the two leaders. Doubles leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar, Marcus Semien, and Jose Iglesias all tied with 15. That ties the league best. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 17 doubles. That's good enough for the league best. Trey Turner and Christian Yelich are tied for second best with 14. Triples leaders in the American League, Jose Altuve still has this lead. He has 4 triples on the year. And Whit Merrifield and Oscar Mercado still tied for second best with 3. In the National League, Jonathan Villar still tops this list with 5. Asdrubal Cabrera, Andrew McCutchen, Chris Bryant, Hunter Pence, and Trey Turner all have 3, and they're all tied for second best. Home run leaders in the American League, Chris Davis still leading this category with 18. Austin Meadows, Josh Donaldson, and Matt Olson each tied for second best with 14. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has the lead with 15. Paul Goldschmidt trailing him by 2 with 13, and Max Muncy rounds out the top 3. He has 12. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. took back the lead for this category with 41 now. He has Chris Davis in second place with 39, and then Jose Abreu and DJ LeMahieu tied for third best with 36. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt still the RBI leader with 36. He's trailed by Cody Bellinger, who has 28, and then Corey Seager, Max Muncy, Bryce Harper, and Christian Yelich all tied for third best with 27. American League runs scored leaders. Yohan Moncada has 33, and that leads this category. Jose Altuve, Chris Davis, and Jose Abreu tied for second best with 31. And then Matt Olson and Rafael Devers, the only players with 30 or more in this category so far this year among American League players. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., the only player with over 30 in this league. He has 34 runs scored. Trey Turner and Paul Goldschmidt on the brink of 30. They each have 29, and they've each tied for second best as of today. Stolen base leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has 9. 4 players tied for second best, Malik Smith, Shin-Soo Choo, D. Gordon, and Mike Trout. They all have 7. In the National League, Starling Marte still leads this category. He has 13 stolen bases on the year, trailed by 3 by Trey Turner, who has 10. And then Jonathan Villar, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Tim LeCastro tied for third best with 9. Walk leaders in the American League, Mike Trout and Yordan Alvarez still top this category with 23. Shin-Soo Choo, Robbie Grossman, Alex Bregman, and Nelson Cruz all tied for third best with 22. In the National League, Rhys Hoskins still leading this category. He's now reached 30 bases on balls this season. Daniel Descalzo, Brandon Belt, Freddie Freeman, and Asdrubal Cabrera all have 23, tied for second best in the league. On-base percentage leaders in the American League, Mike Trout and Miguel Cabrera. They're toward the top. They have a .450 on-base percentage. Chris Davis, the next best, and third best in the American League with a .443 on-base percentage. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s on-base percentage continues to shrink, but he had a such a strong start to the season that he still leads most of these categories, and this is another one, 451 on base percentage for him. Paul Goldschmidt, the next best and second best in the National League with 27. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League. Chris Davis, an 800 even slugging percentage. That's good for the league best. Mike Trout with a 720. Second best, and Yohan Moncada with a 692. He rounds out the top three in the American League. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has shrunk under 800. He's at a 791 slugging percentage now, and no other National League player has a slugging percentage over 700. Paul Goldschmidt with a 699, and Christian Yelich with a 683. On base plus slugging percentage among American League players, Chris Davis, a 1.243, leads the American League. Mike Trout, second best, and Michael Brantley of the Astros, third best. He's climbing up this list. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., a 1.242. That leads this league. Paul Goldschmidt with a 1.126, and Christian Yelich has a 1.095, third best in the league. Moving over to pitchers now. American League wins for pitchers. Jalen Beeks still leads this category with 6. Lucas Giolito, Asher Wojciechowski, and Jake Odorizzi tied for second best with 5. In the National League, Pablo Lopez, Jack Flaherty, Madison Bumgarner, Jimmy Nelson, Walker Buehler, and Nelson Lamet all tied for the league best. They have 5 wins. Bumgarner, the newest to come to this list, he got his win today with the Diamondbacks. American League losses leaders, or those who have yet to be defeated yet on the season, and it's down to 4 now. Dylan Bundy, Asher Wojciechowski, Reynaldo Lopez, and Kenta Maeda all undefeated to this point in the season. In the National League, a few more pitchers are undefeated, 6 to be exact. Caleb Smith, Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, Kevin Gausman, Carlos Martinez, and Dinelson Lamet all have yet to lose a game in the National League. Saves leaders, and here is the leader on all of baseball you're looking at. Brad Hand has 16 saves. Leads baseball and tops the American League, obviously, because of that. Liam Hendricks, 13 saves for him. That's good for second best in the league. And Nick Anderson has 12. That's good for third best in the American League. In the National League, Josh Hader and Giovanni Gallegos each have 14 saves. That's tied for the league best. Sean Doolittle, good for third best in the National League with 13. ERA leaders in the American League, and Tyler Glasnow lost his game today. He moved from a 1.96 ERA and best in the American League to 13th place. You see him down there with a 2.98 ERA. So the new leader now is Zach Plesac, who won his game today against the Rangers. He has a 2.04 ERA now, good for best in the American League. Brad Peacock has a 2.20 ERA, good for second best. And UC Kikuchi has a 2.58 ERA. That's good for third best in the American League. The National League still sees Trevor Bauer with an ERA under 1, a .96 ERA as of today. Walker Buehler has a 1.48. That's good for second best. Mike Soroka has a 1.86. And Caleb Smith with a 1.87. And those 4 are the only 4 pitchers in the National League that have an ERA under 2. Home runs allowed, or least amount of home runs allowed among American League pitchers. Frankie Montas has 2. Brandon Bailey also has 2, as does Gio Gonzalez and John Means. They're all tied for the league best. In the National League, Garrett Richards still tops this category. He's allowed just 1 home run so far this season. Shutouts among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka each have 2 shutouts on the season. In the National League, Zach Wheeler and Walker Buehler still have 2 shutouts, and they still lead the National League in this category. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole still tops this list with 66 strikeouts. Carlos Carrasco behind him with 59, and Charlie Morton and Lucas Giolito tied for third best with 57. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw, the first pitcher in baseball this year to reach 70-plus strikeouts. He has 72. That's good for the league best. Chris Archer has 65. That's good for second best. And Yu Darvish, third best with 63. Complete games. The most complete games thrown among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have 2 on the season. Everybody else you see there has 1. In the National League, Zach Wheeler threw a complete game today. and he has 3 complete games now on the year. Walker Buehler now second best with 2 complete games on the season. Innings pitched leaders among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole still topping this list with 54 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's trailed by 2/3 of an inning to Hyunjin Ryu, who has 54 even. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has claimed ownership of first place. He has 56 and 2/3 innings recorded this season. Now he passed Johnny Cueto, the former leader, who has 54 and 2/3 innings racked up, and Zach Wheeler rounds out the top 3 with 53 and 1/3 innings pitched. Well, he beats out Aaron Nola by 1/3 of an inning to this point. Walks allowed among American League pitchers. Carlos Carrasco and Ivan Nova each have 7. That's tied for the league least. And in the National League, Madison Bumgarner, who had 4, walked 3 in his start today against the Nationals. He now has 7 walks allowed, but that's still good enough for the league best. Alex Wood, second best with 8, and Mike Leake, third best with 9. American League whip leader Zach Plesac, who started today, still has the league best whip with a .92. He's now under 1. In the National League, Walker Buehler, Pablo Lopez, Clayton Kershaw, and Mike Soroka all have a whip under 1. Everybody else has a whip over 1 in the National League. Pitching, wins above replacement. Garrett Cole leading this category with a 1.4. Chase Anderson, Carlos Carrasco, and Shane Bieber all tally a 1.3. In the National League, Chris Archer with a 1.7. That's good for the league best. Yu Darvish trailing with a 1.5. And then you have Walker Buehler, Jacob deGrom, Steven Strasburg, Caleb Smith, and Clayton Kershaw, all with a 1.3. Batting, wins above replacement leaders in the American League. Mike Trout still toward the top. He's in first place as of today with a 2.8 WAR. Chris Davis with a 2.7, and DJ LeMahieu also has a 2.7. That rounds out the top 3. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has a 3.5. He's the only player in baseball with a WAR over 3. Jonathan Villar, second place with a 2.6 WAR, and Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a 2.4. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, May the 6th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.